Hi friends, welcome back. Today I'm here with a super special guest for the first ever interview on my channel. She's a UCSB undergraduate student and the founder of Watermelon Apparel. Meet Athena Wang. It's definitely been such an inspiration to see it go from the beginning, your very first post on Instagram, to see it come to life in this store. Athena's actually even inspired me and my sister's small business brand selling girl boxers. For you dreamers out there, entrepreneurs, visionaries, make sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel so you stay updated. So tell us what Watermelon Apparel is.
Yeah, so Watermelon Apparel is a lifestyle apparel brand that's dedicated to provide comfortable, trendy, and affordable clothing. I want to do something to fulfill the time that I had at home and to do something that I enjoy.
So I think it's super cool that you've been posting sort of behind the scenes and been very transparent with your process from the beginning of the journey. But for the people who weren't there for the process, what did building a clothing brand in this time actually look like?
There are so many apps out there that support small business and help us get started from the ground up, like Shopify. So I think extremely easy to get started on. And this process, I was also supported by a lot of close friends of mine and family members who would help me start making those clothes. I realized it was taking too much of our time from running the marketing aspect of it and expanding the brand. So instead, we sent 2 items to the manufacturer for them to mass produce it. After a couple months of operations, we got more profit and I was able to send more design to the manufacturer, and it was just this process. And after a year, as of this present moment, we have all of our product done at the manufacturer, and I do not make anything at home anymore. By sending every product to the manufacturer, I was able to save time from making the clothes to devoting more of my time to marketing work and expanding the company, and to, of course, standardize the quality of the products.
So tell us the birth story of Watermelon Apparel. What is the brand? How did you come up with the idea?
So Watermelon Apparel, the brand name actually came from my father. So he actually sold fruits, the watermelon, when he was younger, and he would wake up around 3-4 a.m. and then he would go to the market and buy watermelon, and by the end of the day he would come home with a truck and go to sleep around 10-11. Same thing again and again. And my dad, actually, he is an entrepreneur himself too. He started his company in Beijing, and because of his hard work, we were able to move from the rural side of China to Beijing, to America, to California, and now I go to school in Santa Barbara. And the reason why I chose self-love to be our brand's philosophy is that personally I have struggled with body image, and I felt like no matter how hard I try with diet and workout, I would never look like the models on Instagram. And I myself struggle with that. With our oversized comfy clothing, like our big sweatshirts and our oversized tee, I personally feel extremely comfortable and relaxed in those oversized clothing. Not that it covers any of my fat or anything like that, but it makes me accept who I am. And when I wear crop tops, sometimes I feel the need to like suck it in so people don't see like my fats on the side. But when I really wear the comfy clothes, I can do the things I truly passionate about, like starting this brand, for example. And when I'm relaxed, I think I perform the best. And I want to use the things I experience from my clothing preference and bring it out to more people by designing oversized and comfortable sweatshirts.
Yeah, and I love the diversity that you have on your website, on your social handles. I've heard a lot of different startup stories, but that one's definitely really personal. So Athena learned all of this herself, and you really built this company. So what are some of the skills that you were kind of forced to learn through this process?
Yes, definitely. Like I said before, I am an econ major, so I didn't know anything about art, design. I couldn't even draw. So what I did was I watched a bunch of YouTube videos on how to use design, and I actually used Adobe Illustrator to do all of my design. I'm not a big drawing person, so I couldn't draw any of the design, and I learned graphic design and I learned color theory to see what color matched well with others and how the shape and form and the size looks good on the sweatshirts.
I think that's just super driven, and it just shows you that in this time, anything can really be learned online.
Definitely.
So we're sitting in this amazing store. It's open for another 2 weeks before you return back to school. What's been your favorite part of the journey so far?
I met a lot of cool people and I learned a lot of new things from doing this pop-up store in Santa Barbara downtown.
Yeah, and that's where we're actually talking from right now.
I think my favorite part of the journey is to constantly meeting people every day and tell my brand story and hear feedback. Actually, one customer came over and told us that she would like the sizing of one of our bestsellers, the Malibu cow print, to be a little bit more oversized. And I was able to get that feedback into my production and get it back to the store within like a month of time. So communicating with my customer and getting feedback in person is something I really appreciate through this in-person pop-up process.
So if you were to break it down into like a pie chart, how much of building a successful small brand goes into like marketing or the numbers side or the executive planning?
Yeah, for sure. I think initially I put in most of my time into designing and contacting manufacturer, because with a brand going on, that's the product we sell and that's the core thing I put my time into. And with being the only designer in my company, I spend a majority of my time designing clothes in the initial stage. The third thing I think is extremely important for a small business like us is to ensure customer service quality. I do so by constantly checking my email, my DMs, and responding to the comments or liking the comments if they're saying something nice. And towards the end of the day, I also like save time to ask feedback from my friends. How do you like this new product? Do you like it pink or do you like it blue? Or get feedback from my employees and see how their schedule is working out. And with the store running, I also spend, I would say, 20% of my time running the store and planning the schedule for everyone. That's pretty much the breakdown. So kind of like summary, I would say 40% in designing, 30% in marketing, and 20% in customer service, and finally 10% in the general physical store running for the summer pop-up.
When I was in college, I tried to start a fashion brand, and I just felt like I didn't have enough time to do it. And seeing you do it, it just shows that with enough vision and hard work, it really can be done. But I'd be super curious to learn more about how you go about managing your time. How do you make time to build something like this?
Yeah, for sure. I think time management is something that I really had to work on in order to get this store started, along with my social life and the school schedule. And when I was in school, I would try my best to utilize the time that I'm most productive. For me personally, that is morning time. And for that reason, I started waking up early and go to sleep early because I'm more productive in the morning. So I want to maximize the morning time and minimize my unproductive time in the evening. I try to do most of my schoolwork in the morning from around 8 a.m. until 11 a.m.
If you guys have seen some of my vlogs over the past year, you'll see her Google Calendar is very filled out, very colorful and packed. So for you guys watching this who might be entrepreneurs or business owners, you probably know that one of the commonalities of entrepreneurship is you just never know what's going to be thrown your way. And whatever plan you have set out with, it usually doesn't end up looking like that. So what's something in this process that's been completely different from what you envisioned starting out?
I think as of the things that happened that I did not expect, was a lot has to do with, I think, inventory issues. There were times where I feel like, oh, next month it isn't gonna be that popping, that active, so I don't end up ordering enough inventory, and then we sell out and I end up causing potential loss for the company. But there are other times where I think next month is Christmas, everyone should be buying stuff, but then it turns out that people bought stuff somewhere else, and I end up having those extra inventories on the side that I couldn't sell out, and those were for the particular holiday collection, so I couldn't really keep selling in summer, and I end up taking those loss. But I think more I run the company, more I get experience and to predict those unexpected things coming at me.
I'm sure throughout the process there were multiple late nights and points where you felt like giving up. What was the thing that made you push yourself to continue?
I think something that really kept me going was the support from the people around me. And there were countless nights where I thought about maybe tonight is the last night that I'm going to be doing this. And I think about all the friends who've supported me since day one, the people, the strangers on the street who just walked to my store and told me how cute the store was. And there were a lot of encouraging comments that kept me going. And I think to some degree that I wasn't even just doing for me, for the brand anymore, but I was doing it for the people who were looking at who have been following my process all this time and seeing how far I think we have made within this year. And a lot of people have asked me for advice and different suggestions for their small company, and I feel I do not have enough experience to tell them as much advice, but something that I could do to return their support is to keep doing what I'm doing, keep trying my best, so then they have something to look up to and to see that hard work actually pays off. And if it's hard in the moment, then it will get better the next day, and if not the next day, it will eventually get better.
I bet, across all your media coverage and TikTok, like Instagram channels, that you've inspired hundreds of aspiring entrepreneurs and clothing brand founders. You're doing a really phenomenal job. So we're sitting in this beautiful store, everything looks beautiful, but in entrepreneurship, sacrifices are real. What are some of the sacrifices that you really felt like you made in this time period?
So sacrifices are important. I think I did sacrifice some of my study time and I did sacrifice some of my social time, but instead I think I'm learning a lot more than I expected. And the time I have given up at school, for example, and I think I have kind of like made it back with the experience and knowledge I've gained through the store. So I think I did make sacrifices, but those sacrifices were definitely worth it, and I don't regret making them.
You're on the right track when the sacrifices don't really feel like sacrifices. Mm-hmm. For entrepreneurs out there watching this, what are some of the advice that you would like to give them?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think from my experience in the past year, something that really helped me was that to never go for it when you think you're fully ready. By the time you are fully ready, it might be too late. The opportunity might have just passed right at you. And I think if you see something that you're interested in and it's a good time, you should 100% go for it. It doesn't matter if you're ready or not. I didn't know anything about designing, running a business until I actually started doing it.
Do you think there are certain qualities that entrepreneurs possess or can strengthen to sort of become a better entrepreneur?
Mm-hmm. I think qualities that I gained from this experience, or I think the qualities that helped me to start this journey, first is see little things in your life that just gives you idea. So I say creativity.
Totally.
The second quality is persistence. If you see something, make sure you keep trying until you figure something out. The third one, I think, is to be open-minded. Things happen in life, and there are many difficulties and there were many difficulties in my journey, but I think in addition to creativity and persistence, being open-minded and see things in different perspective. One hard thing, maybe it's a good thing if you turn around and look at it from a different angle. So I think it's really important to be open-minded and keep trying and chasing your passion.
Yeah, so you're objectively still super young, you're a junior in college, and you've been super successful with the Watermelon brand, but how does this open your eyes to new possibilities for your future, or did it open any doors to like new career paths that you might be interested in?
Yeah, for sure. First, going to college, I thought I want to be a lawyer, so I went in as a philosophy major, and then I started taking econ because I've always been interested in econ since high school. Shout out to my econ teacher in high school.
Mr. Lyons.
But then after the first econ class, I just start looking into like other possibilities besides law. And with the store, running the store, I realized I am very interested in business. And I think instead of law school, I might look into MBA in the future after I work and intern for a couple of years post graduating from UCSB.
Yeah, I think that's one of the beautiful things about entrepreneurship is that your failures, your successes, they all become part of your journey. Do you have any inspirational like role models or like movies, quotes, anything like that?
Yeah, I think my role model is Kung Fu Panda, because even though, hear me out, even though he looks fat and chubby and no one believed in him when he first started out, but then one person thinks the Wu Gui, the turtle guy, told him that you are the one, you are destined to be it, and he didn't even believe it himself. No one did. So I think what I want to say from my role model Kung Fu Panda is to never be limited by anything, not even yourself, and just go a step at a time, see how far yourself takes you. As of right now, I still don't know what my next step is, but I just know for a fact that no matter which step I take, my family and my friends and people around me will always be there to support every step I take.
Athena, thank you so much for being on the interview today. We learned so much from your story. We're all here to wish you success in your journey. So for all you entrepreneurs, creatives, visionaries out there, make sure you smash this like button and subscribe to my channel. We'll see you guys next time.